Hello and welcome back to the Just Wing It podcast. However, this time it's a little bit different. Previously I was joined by Dan, but this time I'm joined by somebody else. Secret guest who is probably in the thumbnail and the title. Do you want to reveal yourself?
Hello, I am Ace Creeper and I do Doctor Who videos. Hello.
I honestly thought you were going to go, I'm Ace Creeper and I'm an alcoholic.
I should have done. That probably would have been more amusing.
I'm just going to leave that now. You've missed your chance.
I've missed it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, well, first and foremost, thank you for actually doing this.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, I love these sorts of things. They're great.
So, for people who don't know, well, I know you just said that you have a YouTube channel where you do Doctor Who, but what specifically do you do on your channel? I mean, I know, but people might not know.
Well, I mean, I try to do a variation of things, but I focus mainly on sort of the Doctor Who news front, sort of if there's any sort of set photos, if there's any sort of discussions going around online. This series has been really interesting for, like, loads of different news things in general, articles popping up left, right and centre, rumours going around and speculation. So it's been a lot of fun to kind of home in on that. But I also do like sort of occasional merchandise reviews when I have the money and occasional other topics as well on the channel. But yeah, it's mostly focused on news.
So the one thing that I wanted to ask, and I don't know if you've said this before, and I've forgotten it, but where did the name come from, Ace Creeper?
This is what I get asked like a lot, but I don't know. I think I answer it on like streams, so people don't usually pick up on this one. So this is definitely a good opportunity to think. Well, pretty much going back to 2010, I would have been 9 years old, and I set up my Xbox account. My Xbox account had the name of Rural Blowfish, and as you can imagine, on the Xbox Live community, not the greatest nickname to have.
Probably not.
I changed it. Because obviously I liked Minecraft at the time because I was like 9-10 years old, and I changed it and I had it as I wanted it as like Electric Death Creeper 90,000 or something. It eventually settled on Ace Creeper 9000. A few years later, it was 2013 when I made the YouTube account. Just had the name Ace Creeper, and pretty much I've just stuck with it to the point where now that I've got a community and now I've got people who know me, it's actually just pointless changing it to something Doctor Who related or whatever, so I've just kind of kept it because, to be honest, it kind of just sticks. And although it has got a sort of Minecraft feel to it, which I haven't really done in a while, like properly on the channel, it's kind of my thing, and I've kind of owned that, I like to think.
Well, yeah, but I always hate those channels that are always just like TARDIS Fan 5. It's like, I'm sorry to TARDIS Fan 5 if you're listening, but
sorry,
those names just do my pissing head in.
Oh, I get you. Yeah, I mean, this is like, I want, ideally it would be nice to have something sort of Who related in the title if that's what my channel's focused on, but that's the bottom line of it. Like, my channel's been going on for 5 years and I've done many different things, and I can't, you can only change your name like 3 times on YouTube before it gets locked in, so I try not to.
Well, I guess it's one of those things that if you ever did sort of step away from Doctor Who stuff, you've got a name there that isn't sort of tying you down to one thing, which is sort of a similar thing with my name, really. That's why I've got media in my name, so it sort of covers TV, film, games.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a YouTuber, like a reviewer, Vote Saxon 07.
Oh, yeah.
If you know him.
Yeah,
and he's had quite a few things recently where he's not that he doesn't like Doctor Who. I think he does like Doctor Who, but he's sick of people ask fondly or like the same reviews that he's already done before. Like he's reviewed like.
Oh, hang on, you've gone proper weird there. Right, I've kind of lost you totally now.
Copy in.
This has started very well. Do you know what? I might leave this in the actual podcast. This will be fun. 5 minutes with Ace Creeper, everybody.
Hello.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell. It sometimes I don't know whether that was your internet.
I've not.
My internet. It probably.
Yeah.
It sometimes just cocks up.
Yeah, I've no. Do you know what? Fuck it. I might leave all that in. Why not? Just me, like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, that honestly, I swear to God, my internet has it in for me. Every time I do any sort of collaboration that involves some sort of call, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna just mess this up. It loves to do it. It's hot. It's awful. So I'm very sorry about that.
Oh, it's all right.
What was I saying before I turned into a robot?
Something about Vote Saxon and how he hates Doctor Who or something.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he hates Doctor Who. I think it's like he's done like 10 videos on the same Sonic Screwdriver review, and people are still asking him to do like reviews because character options were like re-release figures. So
yeah, they've got their B&M sets recently, haven't they?
Yeah, of course. And I mean, like, although they are a little bit different, etc. I mean, like, he gets bugged a lot to do Doctor Who stuff when he wants to do like stuff that he actually likes, such as like Robot Wars. And he doesn't, he doesn't hate Doctor Who, but I think he likes to do a variation of different things. So when people bug him about the same thing all the time, it annoys him. But his name is /Saxon07, so people associate him with it, and that's a difficult thing to move away with. He tried to change his name and it didn't really stick, so it's a shame, but that's that.
Yeah, because I haven't watched him in a while, actually, but yeah, I used to watch him all the time. I don't really collect the action figures much now, anyway, to be honest.
I'd like to say the same and sound like
I saw that you got the B&M
7 TARDIS is on right next to me. Yeah, I do, I think it's the TARDIS boxes that I'm a fan of. I'm not like a collector where I will buy all the figures that come out. I'll buy the ones that interest me, the ones that are unique and stuff.
I'm the exact same. Because there's a lot where I'm just like, don't want that. I don't want the granny from the Idiot's Lantern. I'll just have... or Slitheen or whatnot. I'll just get what I want. I don't know why I said Slitheen. Of course I want Slitheen. But I don't get why they release such absolute gash figures. Like, who wants that granny or Toby from the Impossible Planet or whatever it was? Oh crap, I think you've gone again. Well, this is going to be a fun podcast, I can tell already. The best podcast in the world. We are rivaling True Jodie here.
2 hours later.
So how did you actually get into YouTube then? Because you said 5 years. Was it?
Yeah, 5 years. 5 years from April this year.
Wow.
Yeah, I suppose there's been like many different sort of ways of getting me influenced in it. In a way, I suppose I was always sort of had a passion for being in front of a camera. I always wanted to. I mean, like from a young age, like I did a video last year. I talked about like early on, like signs of wanting to do this sort of thing. My mum would be like filming my brother as a baby, and my 6-year-old self would jump in front of the camera and try and get all the limelight. I was never allowed to watch YouTube when I was younger, till I was about 9 years old.
Oh, wow, okay.
I just wasn't allowed. I think when I was younger, I watched something and it had a swear word on it, and YouTube was like new at the time, and my mum heard it. She was like, "No, that's not happening," because she didn't know anything about it. So she was just like, "Okay, not appropriate for a 5-year-old." So cut that off. But when I got into it, I suppose I felt a passion for it, and when it was like accessible for anyone, and all I had to do, I got a laptop for one birthday, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. So the next month, there you go, I set up a channel, and after a few videos, having to pass through my dad to get his permission to upload it, I managed to get hold of my own channel to just upload what I wanted, and just sort of went from there, really.
Wow. It's weird to think that you've been doing it for so long as well.
Yeah.
Because, your channel's like a lot older than mine as well.
It's weird. A lot older than quite a few. It's a lot older than people with like some people with like 1 million subs. It's insane, really, because it's, I don't know, it's an odd one because it's been going on for such a long time, but I feel like it is multiple channels stuck together. That's kind of what it feels like to me, mainly because I went through so many different eras of like what I was making, and I feel like I've kind of found my feet now with Doctor Who, and I feel like that's where most of my new subscribers have come from. So that's the kind of thing I'm sticking with from now, but it took me about 5 years to get there, so yeah.
Well, you got there in the end, that's the main thing. The other thing that I was going to ask you as well is something that I get asked a lot, but then again, I never know how to answer it, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay, what
is it about your channel that is probably the reason why people watch? Like, what is it about you? Because, people ask me and I never know, so I want to put you on the spot.
It's a difficult one because there's a risk of sounding a little bit
arrogant.
Arrogant, yeah, a little bit. I think the reason people watch my videos, and this is just looking at sort of like general sort of statistics, like last December, I started this year with 2,250 subs. That's taken me 4.5 years to get to that, and then I've more than tripled that in this last year. From that, I could kind of work out that people come to me for the general Doctor Who news. There's not many channels that do that, and the channels that do that do it in a very different way and not as frequent. I have a very particular editing style. I've had a lot of experience with it. So the way I do my videos is I will talk and then I will stick images over. And people like that. They're getting the news quite quickly, as well as they're getting a lot of information and someone's general opinion on it. I've also been very positive about the show. I'm that.
I can't say I've been the same.
No, of course not. And I do agree. There are some things that have happened that I'm very much like, I'm not keen on that. But when it comes to making videos, the female Doctor thing split the community, and that's just a fact. I feel like I've had comments telling me that my videos are the reason that they're excited for this series. That makes me happy because that's the aim I want to go for. I want to try and spread the positive side of it because If not, then the show could get cancelled, and I don't want that. I love the show. I've been watching it since I was about 6. I want it to continue. I want it to continue at a good quality. And I feel like this is a great chance for the show to really pick itself back up again and really make itself better. So me being positive and making that news when it comes out and speaking positively about most news that comes out, then I feel like it kind of gets people enticed and excited for the series, and I feel like it kind of helps.
Yeah, I guess. Well, the thing is with me, obviously, I'm not exactly the cheeriest person when it comes to Doctor Who, but I mean, this is something that has been on the cards for a few years now, because I mean, my second ever video was how to fix Doctor Who. Like, I've had issues with the last few years. I mean, I think we touched upon it with Stephen Moffat in the last podcast, but I don't know, I can't get excited this time around. And I mean, what we'll talk about later is obviously our Doctor Who fans toxic, and I think that does play into it, actually.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. I like, like, the thing is, I've loved Doctor Who, and I always have, until about series 9, and I think I watched The Girl Who Died, and I watched it, and I was like, for the first time ever, I've watched a Doctor Who episode and being genuinely disappointed, feeling like, am I getting too old for this now? Am I getting out of it? Like, am I past that? And that worried me, because I didn't want to hate it, I started to dislike it, and I got through the series, and then I wasn't excited for series 10, but series 10, to me, was kind of impressive. I was impressed because my expectations was that low. And that's the thing. I feel like now Moffat's gone, now Capaldi's gone, now the cast, now everything. This is the biggest change, I feel, since 2005. New musician, new team, new writers, new directors, actors, etc. It's such a good time for the show, and I feel like if this opportunity is wasted, the series could get cancelled. But I love the people who jump on. I know we'll talk about the community later in general, but touching upon it quickly, I think the people who are saying, Series 11 will be the last series, it's going to be cancelled, and people obviously don't do their research. They are filming Series 12 in a month.
Yeah. Is it that soon? I knew it was later this year, but I didn't realise it was that
November. Soon. November, sorry, my bad. They're filming it in 2 months. They're filming in November to hopefully have the same series release for next year. I feel like that's their plan anyway.
It's a bit confident to sort of book in filming dates already.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing. The BBC are confident with it, and that's the feeling I'm getting from this series. That's why I'm excited, because the BBC seem to be. Past years, Series 10, I felt like the BBC didn't care. They just didn't care.
I think
that's why they announced
Series 9 as well. I mean, Series 9, it's like the what's the main line from that? Like, the Doctor and Clara, same old, and it's just like, well, it's been shit. Yeah. We don't want the same old. We want something different.
It's general advertising. I mean, I think what you have to take into consideration as well is that it is a worldwide show now, thanks to like the early Moffat era, and I think the US audience is a lot more dedicated to the show than the UK ones. I think the UK people in general, and this is just a generalization, are more cynical. I feel like with the advertising from BBC America especially, you really get the feeling that they are loving it over there.
I do get that impression, and I think that might be a reason as to why I've sort of gone off it in the last few years, because it does seem like they're more targeting an American audience compared to a UK audience, especially with obviously the special effects getting better, and sort of trying to make it compete with sort of those big sci-fi shows that you get in America. Or at least that's my impression anyway. I
mean, the new VFX team is the one who worked on Interstellar, so I'm buzzing for that.
Wow, really?
Oh yeah, did you not know about this? Because this is like big stuff. Like the VFX team's changing as well. I mean, the last few episodes of Series 10, they had John Smith come in, the guy who's on YouTube who does these amazing. I don't know if you've seen him before. He's done like Hulock.
Yeah, I know this.
He did that sort of thing.
His trailer for Day of the Doctor, I thought was better than the actual trailer for Day of the Doctor.
I thought that was real when I first saw it. That just shows how. I mean, it was good. I mean, looking back on it now, you can kind of see. But like back then, I thought that was genuine.
Yeah,
I think it was just now. I feel like the VFX team, they are updating it and they are bringing a brand new team in, and that is the same one that worked on Interstellar. So anyone saying, the budget or whatever, and the budget is bigger this series. The VFX team looks better. I think cramming it down to 10 episodes as well. You're keeping the sort of variation quite slim as well. So you're putting more budget into the actual episodes that matter. If you had like less episodes, more money's going to go into each episode. If you know what I mean. So it just makes a bit of sense, I suppose. But we'll see how it turns out. But I'm quite excited.
I don't know if I'm actually excited for like a really polished looking version of Doctor Who, because I mean I've said this before, but I like the novelty of Doctor Who being a bit shit. I don't know what it is. I like the set one.
I get what you mean. Yeah.
I don't know, but I mean, if it looks good, I'm not really going to complain. I mean, one of the main I mean, Warriors of the Deep, prime example with the special effects lack thereof of special effects in that really sort of ruins it. And to be fair, there's quite a few classic stories where if they actually had a budget, they might be a bit better. And people sort of, I mean, Warriors of the Deep again is the main example. That actually could be a good script, but that fucking Merker is just dreadful. It's just a wobbly piece of foam. It's just dreadful.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see.
Yeah, it is just playing the waiting game at this point until the series airs, which a lot of people somehow can't do. But I'm happy to wait. You know, I'm not going to make a judgment. I might hate the 13th Doctor. I might hate Chris Chibnall as a writer when I watch the series, but I don't know that yet until I've watched it. So I'm just excited from what I've seen so far, which is quite a bit when you're like sort of talking about every bit of news that comes out and you get tagged in everything on Twitter. You do see a lot. So from what I've seen, I'm quite excited.
I think Chibnall is the main worry for me, because I've not been massively impressed with what he's done in the past. I think his best script was probably 42, but even then, that's not that great. Did he do Power of 3? Yeah,
he did Power of 3. See, I get you with that. I think the excuse that I always throw in there is that, although, and I will admit, I've not rated highly for any of his episodes that he's done for Doctor Who, but I do rate Broadchurch, and I really did enjoy Broadchurch, and I feel like as a showrunner it might be different. And this is always the excuse I've used. Taking Dinosaurs on a Spaceship as an example, Chris Chibnall wrote that story, right? God. But this is the thing: how much, like, what did Moffat give him for that story? Did Moffat say, "I want a story where the Doctor, Amy, and Rory, and a few other people are on a spaceship and there's dinosaurs? Go." And I think out of that crap idea, I think Chibnall pulled together something that works decent. You've got the Silurians again. You've got, I mean, like, it's a terrible episode, and I'm not going to ever try and justify it, but I feel like, given what he was given, I feel like it wasn't great. If you look at P.S., the thing from Angels Take Manhattan, where Rory's dad gets a letter, that is brilliant, and that should have been like something, maybe a minisode or part of that advertising or something like that. I don't know, but that was beautiful. Part of
the actual episode, thinking about it. Because I mean, I hate that episode totally. But
do you?
Yeah, Angels Take Manhattan. Yeah, cannot stand it. I thought
really?
I thought it was absolute garbage. But then again, that was kind of in my phase where I was sort of losing interest in Doctor Who, so I don't know if that's because I genuinely think it's terrible or because I was just in that mindset. I think I just didn't enjoy it. I think the bit where I saw like the Statue of Liberty as an angel, I was just like,
that was stupid. That was stupid. But I don't know. I think it's just the emotional side of it. I think that was like my prime for Doctor Who. Like Series 5 and 6. Although I mean, Series 5 was great, but Series 6 wasn't great.
No.
But I think back when I love that series more on childhood nostalgia because I was at the age where I was sort of I'm trying to think, I must have been like at the end of primary school, going into secondary school. And I think that was the kind of age that I was really sort of attached with it, the show. And I feel like I lost interest more towards Capaldi's era. I feel like that and Matt's Doctor really like connected with me as a child at the time. And I feel like the emotional aspect of Amy and Rory, that really got me. So, and as well as when I went to New York with school, I got a couple of hours off to go to Central Park and jump at the locations. Yeah, I don't mention this. Yeah, it was a school trip. We went to New York for a week, which is mental.
Which fucking school is this? We went to fucking Landudno. It was awful.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this is the only trip like it. There are a few people going to San Francisco this year as well, which is insane. But no, I haven't got the money for that.
I feel like I've been ripped off with my schooling days. Oh no, we went to London once. Tell a lie. That's just as good. No, but anyway, fucking New York. Anyway, I got off track there.
But I visited a few. I mean, obviously, like there's the locations that are based in Central Park, like the place where the 11th Doctor reads the letter at the end of the episode. I sat there. There's the fountain that's in the middle of Central Park that Rory walks past. There's the rock that they're sitting on at the beginning. There's the angel that's on the fountain, etc. There's loads of places, and I thought just having photos there was exciting. And I think when I watched the episode again, I was like, oh, I've been there. That's great, that sort of thing. So yeah, it was kind of fun. But I don't know. I feel like the more emotional side of that sort of relates with me a bit better on that episode, but I can see why you have problems with it.
Well, then again, I don't think I was that attached to Amy and Rory anyway. I think she didn't get off to the best start with me, where she's sort of putting herself on the Doctor at the end of the Angel two-parter. So after that, I was a bit like, And then she becomes a proper gobby cow, so I was just like, nah, can't be arsed. But little did I know what was next. So, yeah.
Compared to that wonderful companion.
I'd rather have Mel or Dodo back.
I mean, did you see? Cause there was something on Twitter earlier that I shared. Someone had the idea of like how to make Doctor Who better, and someone said, because I think someone said, oh, if you want to bring the Daleks back, you should have them shout exterminate and kill a beloved character, and that would bring them back really well, make them terrifying again.
Yeah,
and that's a great point. But someone retweeted that, and said, I said it once, I'll say it again. They should have killed Clara off in The Witch's Familiar and have Missy saving herself with the teleport thing, but just killing Clara off there and then, like flat out, would have been an interesting idea. And I think that's a really good point. I think that would have not only brought the Daleks back, but it would have been it would have got rid of Clara earlier, I suppose, as well.
Oh yeah, that's always a plus. But I think, well, I mean, he kind of did that sort of shock killing off a companion early in World Nothing Time, but it is a good idea, actually. But then again, the thing that pisses me off the most about this is going to turn into a Clara rant, I can just see it. But the thing that pisses me off the most is the fact that she has multiple exits and deaths, and I'm just like,
that's Moffat, though, isn't it?
Go.
I know Moffat can't kill off a character, and and I do have a problem with that, and I completely agree with you on that. And this is the thing, and you're going to kill me for saying this, but like, no. I mean, hear me out, right? The main problem I have with Hellbent is everything to do with Clara, right?
Okay.
I enjoyed Hellbent up until the extraction chamber thing. I think it was a strong episode up until that point, and I feel like then they just messed it up. But I do agree, and I know like there's a lot of people, like you included, who like don't like Hellbent, and I get that.
The understatement of the year.
Oh yeah, absolutely despise it then. But I don't know. I like it up until that point. I feel like Clara was the thing really that for me ruined that episode. Yeah. I didn't mind Gallifrey. I didn't mind that, but I think when the Doctor took over power, yeah, interesting, and then it just got Clara, and then it just stumbled, and then went worse and worse, and then brought Shielder back, and then But I feel like her death would have been better either at the end of Series 8 or like last Christmas. That old woman thing, that would have been perfect.
Well, I think even the end of Series 8, where they just accept that they're not good for each other and they just walk away, I thought that was and that was actually subtle from Moffat.
Yeah, exactly as well. It would have been interesting because it was just like they both think each other's happy when they're both actually lying to each other, and I think that would have been a great way to kill off a companion. But no, we've got to make it we've got to make it different and interesting and spacey wacy and stuff. There was an interesting one as well, which was a follow-on from that, saying that if you killed Clara off at the beginning of Series 9, you can have the Doctor in torment going back in time, travel with an earlier version of Clara, have her die, and then have some sort of paradox problem. That would be another way of doing sort of 12th Doctor going a bit mental over a companion as well, because that was a main plot line that Moffat seemed to want to go in.
Yeah, I don't get why.
But yeah, I feel it's an interesting...
I don't understand why the Doctor was so attached to Clara, because I mean, Clara is the companion that has seen all of the Doctor's regenerations, literally sees him regenerate in front of her, and yet still questions, is this the Doctor? Is he still a good man? It's just
I didn't get that. I didn't get that.
It would have worked for any other companion, just not her. And I don't know, I just find her so entitled. And it's actually got to a point where I can't find Jenna Coleman herself actually attractive anymore, because I'm just like, I fucking hate you as Clara. Like, I have nothing against her as a person or an actress, but no. From
what I've heard, she's not the nicest as well to fans. Like, not nasty as such, but this might be rubbish. But from what I've heard of like people who have met a lot of the actors and stuff, and she apparently like, she puts on a smile opposed to being genuine like Capaldi, or I feel like she enjoys the whole role of Doctor Who, but she's not very much an interactive with fans person, which I suppose adds to the bundle of things of why we can hate Clara. Yeah. I think that what I didn't like about her is that Moffat made her out to be the most important woman in the whole universe.
Yeah, that's my major gripe. Especially when at the very end she gets her own TARDIS, and I just think...
Yeah, exactly.
What have you done to deserve this? Like, there's so much payoff for a character that didn't deserve it. And I think any companion getting a TARDIS, bar Romana maybe, it just doesn't work, and it's
Oh,
a
yeah,
stupid
absolutely.
idea, and I hate
To be honest,
for that.
I didn't mind Bill becoming one of those water things and flying off. I would have preferred her to just
totally
die.
forgot that.
I would have preferred her to just die in World Enough in Time. But when they brought her back, I was like, okay, they better have a good ending for this. And in a way, they did. I just wish she wasn't in Twice Upon a Time. But I don't mind the whole becoming a water thing and then going off into the universe. It was nicely done, I feel. It was better than having a TARDIS. I feel it was. I thought it was a bit more better, respectful to the fans than Clara's exit was, I feel, anyway.
I don't know. I think it was fairly similar because I distinctly remember being sat in the living room watching The Doctor Falls with my mum, and as soon as what was it, Heather?
Yeah.
When she sort of pops up, I burst out laughing because I just thought, this is what he's doing, is it? This is fucking bullshit. But
Moffat,
I agree about Twice Upon a Time. I think you had a perfect opportunity there to bring in somebody like Susan.
I think what would have been interesting with that would have been great because obviously the first Doctor at that point would have given up Susan for a while, and I feel like the 12th Doctor would have really felt that moment as well. I feel
especially when he had the picture of her on his desk in the pilot.
Oh, that again, yeah, you've just reminded me of that would have been a great opportunity.
But no, instead we get Clara coming back again.
Yeah, I expected that.
Same.
I don't know. I feel like, right, if you can't book Jenna Coleman for like to do more than recording lines on her phone, don't do it at all. That was very obviously
Green
a CGI'd version of Clara.
It's painful how bad it actually is. I was sort of going through YouTube and watching like 12th Doctor clips because I've gone on a bit of a binge of him recently, and I came across that one. And yeah, you're right. She just doesn't look like a real person.
Again, props to the guy who did the VFX for that because it looks relatively convincing. Because what I presume happened was they got a photo from one of her last episodes and they morphed it to what she was saying. The only issue for me was that the audio quality was that bad of her voice that you could kind of tell it wasn't her in real life. It was actually through a phone recording or something, which just makes me think like if you couldn't get her, don't. You know what I mean? It would have been absolutely fine with just Bill and Nardole saying goodbye. We went off on a bit of a tangent there.
Yeah, well, we just wing it. That's what we do on this podcast.
Exactly. That's very clever. I appreciate what you did there.
Yeah, people probably just going. Yeah. But yeah, so you often talk about Doctor Who, and obviously we were just talking about Doctor Who. But something else that you're interested in, of course, is the world of Marvel, I believe.
I do like Marvel. I'm a big superhero film connoisseur type thing. I like to say that. See, at the beginning of this year, I was like, you know what, I'm kind of done with superhero films now.
Oh, really?
And then I watched Infinity War, and then I changed my mind. I loved it.
I will say spoilers for people at home listening, but I mean, it's been out for how long now? I think it's on DVD and Blu-ray now. So if you haven't seen it, it's your own fucking fault.
April. I mean, come on. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, I mean, to be honest, you're not going to have anything spoiled because of the memes. I've already spoiled everything anyway.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Ant-Man and the Wasp I haven't seen yet, so I will just say
I haven't seen that.
Oh, all right, that's okay then. No worries about spoilers there then. Because
I think I've seen the post-credit scene, but that's it. I haven't seen anything else.
I've literally seen nothing. But my friend Dan. Oh, my voice cracked then. Jesus Christ. But yeah, my friend. Yeah. There we go. That was just fake. I don't know why I did that. Anyway, yeah. So my friend Dan, he has this habit of spoiling films, and if he's listening, fuck you, you prick. Because I remember once we were sat in a beer garden of a pub, and this wasn't something that was spoiled for me, but it was spoiled for my other friend, and I got pissed off on his behalf because he was just like, oh yeah, Batman, Superman, it's alright, bit stupid killing off Superman though, just blurted it out casually, just like, so and he nearly did it with Ant-Man and the Wasp, saying, oh well, this, and I was like, just shut your fucking mouth. But yeah, no, thankfully didn't. So yeah, if anyone gets bitchy about spoilers, like we said, it's your own fucking fault.
Oh, I mean, I've had a horrible experience. And anyone, I mean, I think I've never been that angry before. I think it was, and
was this Twitter related, by the way, for Infinity War? Because I feel I may have had the same thing. If it is,
no, this wasn't. This was in school. I was in the common room.
All right.
And there's this guy that I hate anyway, but you know, he decides to go in, and this is not even 24 hours after The Last Jedi came out in cinema. Not even 24 hours, and I know it's not well received. I kind of enjoyed it, but I was still excited to see it.
Yeah.
Right. And at this point, I knew nothing about the film. I was avoiding all spoilers. I was going to see it the next day, 2 days after it actually came out. So that's not bad. You're kind of avoiding quite a few spoilers there.
Yeah.
And this kid just walks in.
Luke dies.
And he goes, and that was it. And he just, and what he said, because we were talking about it, and I was trying to get like not spoilers, but little nitbits and that sort of thing. Like, oh, do you find out about this? Is there a lightsaber fight? Is it good? You know, that sort of thing. Like very basic questions. And then he comes in and goes, "What are you talking about?" And I'm going, "Oh, just sort of talking about The Last Jedi. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm just generally just talking about it." And he went, "Oh, what do you think about Luke dying?" I'm like, I have never shouted at someone so much. I just walked out the room shouting profanities at him because I just couldn't even bear the fact that he'd just done that, because I was like, oh, I hate you. He hadn't even seen it. He got spoiled by someone else. But like, it's just the lack of care. Thankfully, other people around the table didn't hear that, but I had it ruined. Yeah. I had the big ending of the film ruined, but that's fine.
Actually, speaking of a Star Wars movie being ruined for me, that's another one of fucking Dan's that he did for Force Awakens. Oh yeah, Han Solo dies. Fuck off.
Oh, that got me as well. I was on Facebook and I was scrolling through, and it was the shot of the lightsaber through Han Solo. I was like, oh, I'm seeing it tomorrow.
Yeah, literally, I was going the next day as well. He's like, yeah, Han Solo died. Yeah, cheers, mate. Like, that's exactly what I asked you when I said, how was it? So, oh well. But I had a really bad one for Infinity War, actually. Luckily, I didn't see too much, but I think I put a tweet up that was saying something like, if you spoil Infinity War for people, then you just...
I remember that.
Sad cunt, yeah. And then this guy just posted a picture reply full of spoilers saying, oh yeah, this person dies, and this happens, and Red Skull's back, and all this sort of stuff. Luckily, I think I saw 2 names. I think I just saw Vision and Heimdall. All the rest of it I didn't see.
Oh, that's good.
And then I went off Twitter totally after that. But no, like I got into a bit of a Twitter argument with that guy, actually. Ah, well, he's a bellend. But I remember watching Avengers Infinity War for the first time thinking, I mean, they're going to kill someone off. I mean, oh, it's everyone. Great. Okay, this is quite something. I mean, the worst one is Spider-Man. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. I know, that really got me. I am a massive fan of Spider-Man. I think, again, it was just the way I was sort of brought up. I think when I was younger, that was the big superhero films of the time, with the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films. I'm not a big fan of the Amazing Spider-Man series, but I think the way they brought him back for the Marvel Cinematic Universe was just perfect. I love the way they've done it, and I really am happy with that. That got me. I mean, it was always going to anyway, and it was always going to be stretched out and a bit dramatic and, you know, very David Tennant-esque as well. But, you know, I hope they don't do a Moffat, which is actually a term now. I hope they don't do a Moffat and just bring everyone back. I hope...
Some people need to stay dead.
I think Loki, Gamora, Heimdall, Vision need to just stay dead. Everyone before the snap of the fingers needs to stay dead. You know what I mean? I think... Yeah.
I don't know if Loki will stay dead, because I think...
Loki will be back in a few years, but he shouldn't be brought back straight away.
No. Gamora, I definitely agree with. Vision, I mean, Vision doesn't do fuck all anyway. So, yeah, keep him dead. I feel bad for Scarlet Witch, though. She's lost a brother and a lover. So, well, in the Ultimate series, that's the same person. Weirdly.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awful.
Yeah, that is really bizarre. So in that Ultimate universe, yeah, they're not only brother and sister, they're lovers, and I think Wolverine is their dad, and he catches them having sex or something. Yeah.
Oh, God.
I mean, I love the Ultimate Spider-Man comics, but all the rest of it is a bit suspect. But yeah, no,
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's something that good job they killed off Quicksilver in Age of Ultron, because otherwise I did not want to see where they were going to go with that. It was going to be like, what do you think we will see in the future of Avengers? Hopefully not that, because that's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I see what you mean with that one. I don't know. I'm just thinking. You want to talk about Avengers 4, don't you? The sort of
I mean the Marvel universe as a whole, because right now it is sort of in a what the fuck are they going to do, and who's going to stay dead, who's going to be alive?
They're in a time of their 10-year anniversary. They've got the big Thanos thing, and they've wrapped. I think they believe they've wrapped filming for Avengers 4 now as well. So that
I think so.
They are done with that. Now is the next phase. How do they continue with that? How do they like improve, or how do they make it better and bigger? How do you make that bigger? You can't make it bigger, really. That's the thing. The direction I want to see them go in is I want to see them very much go into some good Spider-Man films.
Yes, I am looking forward to the sequel.
Yeah, I'm really buzzing for the sequel. I just feel like we haven't. This is just my opinion. I don't like the Amazing Spider-Man films. I think they're well made. I think they're great quality, but I just don't like them. I just don't have any drive ever to watch them. Whereas obviously the Sam Raimi ones are very much nostalgia for me. I feel like Homecoming and that sort of series, the way they're going off with Tom Holland's Spider-Man, I feel like they've got a good chance to really bring the character back into the limelight again. And I mean, if the Fox deal works, give it 10 years, get him partnered up with Deadpool. That could work. Don't even mind, like. Yeah, there's so much they can do with it, really.
Well, the rumour is that I've heard, if they do bring the X-Men in, which I think is likely now that the merger's gone through, the rumour I heard is that all of the X-Men and Fantastic Four cast are out. The only person who's going to stay on is Ryan Reynolds, which makes sense, because if you get rid of Ryan Reynolds, there's no point in doing Deadpool, really, is there?
Wait a minute, so the whole X-Men cast...
Yep, so McAvoy, Patrick Stewart...
yeah, I would have expected like Patrick Stewart and like Hugh Jackman, I suppose, but I feel like Hugh Jackman kind of would. I feel like eventually, he's the kind of guy that I feel would. I know he didn't come back for Deadpool 2 like everyone was hoping.
I think he kind of did.
Oh, it was an edit of X-Men Origins, and I feel like he's good friends with Ryan Reynolds, but I don't know. I feel like there's an opportunity for him to come back properly. Can you just imagine, like? I mean, I'm not being funny, but now they've got the merger in. I know it's a bit late, but can you imagine if they got it in a year earlier and the big surprise is in Avengers 4, but Hugh Jackman rolls up as Wolverine and that to like help fight Thanos? That would be amazing. I feel like Marvel MCU they need to handle Fantastic Four now.
Yeah,
it's been done terribly twice. They need to jump on it.
I don't know how you would do the Fantastic Four, though, because it's clear... Well, do the Incredibles, basically. But it's...
Yeah.
I mean, because it should be like this weird space adventure, and I think that's where they've missed a trick. Not have Galactus as a cloud would be a start. I don't know why they did that. I remember watching that in the cinema.
I'll level with you. I haven't seen the new one. I've only seen the older ones back from like 2005. I mean, like, I've not even...
This is the sequel one, Rise of the Silver Surfer.
You see, and that is why the films are bad, because they're just that forgettable. I've seen that like twice, and I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, no, because I remember thinking, like, oh yeah, Galactus, I can't wait to see this big purple guy. It's just a cloud. And I was thinking, that's not him. What is this? And I mean, oh god, the makeup on the Thing has not aged well in those movies either.
No, it really hasn't. They need to go, like, I don't know. I just feel like Marvel need to really jump on that and handle it like their style. I feel like they've done brilliantly with everything else they've done. I think the only downfall of Marvel is like the second Thor film, you know.
Yeah.
Or, like that'll be it. Marvel has done a fantastic job. Even their like bad films are still rated quite well.
Oh,
and that's just
the Inhumans as well. That was quite bad.
Yeah, wasn't that like it was originally meant to be a film and they made it a TV show, didn't they?
Yeah, and I think it got cancelled in its first season. I've not seen it, but I'm not interested at all.
I've not watched any of the TV show stuff like Daredevil or that, or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I've never watched any of it. No, and the same with the DC ones as well. I've never watched Arrow, Flash. I've never watched any of that, and it's good, and I reckon it would be amazing. But I just feel like, I mean, especially with the DC stuff, I would love to watch it. You know, I'm desperate for something amazing from DC, but
Titans?
I just feel like they're so far. I'll pass on that one. They're so far in now with that whole TV thing, and it's all like mixed as well. Like I've just seen my brother watching it. I just don't think it's for me, to be honest. And I'm not really a type of person that binges through shows quite well. Like I love films, and I love TV shows, but I'll really only get into something if I have a genuine passion for it. And you know, it's the same with Doctor Who. It's the same with like Westworld. Originally, The Walking Dead before it went shit.
I think that's the main problem with the DC shows, that Arrow started off incredibly well, and then seasons 3 and 4 are just awful. I mean, The Flash has done the same thing. I don't know what it is. It's like 3rd and 4th season is usually terrible with these shows. I mean, Supergirl's getting pretty dodgy reviews as well. But I mean, they're worth a watch, I guess. I mean, would you say you're more Marvel or DC?
See, my entire childhood is built up on two superheroes. That's Spider-Man and Batman. So I've never really...
I'm exactly the same.
That's good. I've never really had a drive to go to either. Like, I love DC, but their films are shite. Marvel are great, and they do their films amazingly well, and I think that has the appeal. That's actually brought me into that now. I never liked Thor. Now I do, because he's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh my, he's brilliant. But like DC, I want to love it. I really want to love it, but I can't because it's just terrible. And I feel like I haven't seen Wonder Woman, and I haven't seen Justice. I refuse to watch Justice League because everything I've seen of it ruins it for me.
It's not as bad as people make it out to be. I actually quite enjoyed it, but then again, I quite like most of the DC movies. The only one that I don't particularly like that much
that's
is
interesting.
Suicide Squad. I love Man of Steel, and I love the extended cut of Batman v Superman as well.
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you, I am the same. I do like Batman v Superman a lot, especially the extended edition. I do like Man of Steel. I think with Justice League, I think there was a point in it. I think I just didn't watch it in cinema. I didn't have the time to, so I didn't get to it. And my brother's got it on Blu-ray. I think it's just. I think I saw like an analysis of like the opening scene, for example, and it was just when there's a shot of Batman on a rooftop, but he's just, and it's not broad daylight, but he's under a light. He's not exactly hidden, and he's just standing there looking at this guy. Before it's like, that's not Batman. And then they swing around the city and land on the same roof. I mean, that's just lazy set design. If there's a few elements of it and I have full respect for Affleck's Batman, but
he's probably my favourite Batman, actually.
Yeah, he's pretty good, but they need to do something big with it. You know, they can't just. What they should have done is they should have done like an entire Batman series first and built it up over years. I feel like throwing Batman into technically a Man of Steel sequel. Yeah, it was difficult, and I did like him in that, and I really did like him in that. I think the best moments of that film are Batman.
Yeah,
but I just don't know. I feel like they messed up the Joker. First of all, I hate Jared Leto as the Joker. He's awful. I hate him.
It's so frustrating because I know that Jared Leto could be a good Joker, but he just isn't. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the tattoos or. I mean, for me, he's barely in it.
Yeah, well, it's not that. I suppose I've not got a drive for him as the Joker. I get he could do a good job. I think the costume's crap.
Yeah.
To me,
awful.
I am craving a comic book Joker. I mean, I love Heath Ledger, don't get me wrong. Absolutely, like, fantastic. Like, The Dark Knight is probably one of, if not the best superhero-based film.
I'd say so.
It's not comic book accurate, but it's brilliant. And it's really well made. I feel like his Joker, although he's absolutely brilliant in every single scene, and he has put so much effort into that, and I have full respect because he is brilliant in that role. It's not comic book accurate, you know. It's not it's not Mark Hamill, is what I'm saying. Mark Hamill is in the Arkham games, in the animated series, is the definitive Joker, the comic book Joker, and we've never seen that properly on screen before. What I'd love to see is, I mean, it's not going to happen now, but I'd love to see them explore the Joker as more of an ideology type thing and have more than one Joker. Like, you know, Jared Leto didn't land very well. It's a perfect opportunity to bring in a different Joker and be like, this isn't the OG Joker. You know, you have maybe an older one. You know, Batman's older in this, so why can't the Joker be older in this?
Oh, good point, actually. Well, I didn't realise that Jared Leto and Ben Affleck are the same age.
Jesus Christ, they're not, are they?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Oh, I don't think they're meant to be in the film. I think Jared Leto does look.
Oh yeah, he does look like 20 years younger or something like that. But I mean, they are
Ben
doing.
Affleck's got grey hair in the DCU, hasn't he? So it's, I don't know.
Well, they are doing a different Joker because they've got what's his name now? Joaquin Phoenix.
I remember. Yeah,
something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, they are making that. I know that's not connected with DCU. I don't think anyway. Or at least I don't. It might be. I don't know.
I don't think DC knows, to be honest. I just think they're just.
But I like that. I really just need a good Joker film. A good film with the Joker, but just anything will do. I don't mind. They just need to do it well, and I feel like we haven't had a good version of the Joker. Like I am a massive fan of the Arkham games. We've not had that Joker on screen. I want it. It's not going to happen though. Just the way they've modernised the new Joker anyway. The way like the bare chest, the tattoos, the grills.
Yeah,
the really bright green hair. You know, it just gets me.
I don't understand where they've sourced that from, like which comic book series, because I don't remember the Joker ever looking like that. They
haven't. They've just tried to modernise the Joker and this will be good. But no, it's not. You need to make it. You need to make it comic book accurate for it to really connect with fans who are diehard fans. This is one of the most iconic villains of like comic book and film, TV history. Get it right.
Yeah, it's not difficult. I mean, they've done it a few times before. So
I've never watched Gotham properly, but from what I've seen, the guy who plays the Joker in that, or the whatever, Jerome or whatever it is, he's pretty damn good.
Yeah, I had issues with him at first. Again, I don't watch it, but I have seen clips. And at first, I think it's his first scene where he sort of snaps. I'm like, oh, this guy's not good. But then I watched a recent clip and I was like, fucking hell, just put him in the movies. Like he's
But I mean, there was a plot thread where he died or something, and then like the whole, I think it was
It's his twin brother or something.
Yeah, but it was death of the family, the comic book arc where the Joker gets his face, where he cuts his own face off, and then staples it back on or something.
Yeah.
And that's what he did with Gotham. And God, that worked really well. He looked creepy. And he had that permanent smile just from the way his skin stretched over his face, and it just looked insane. He looked mental, and the manic laughter, the general style. He didn't have the green hair, but didn't need to, because we knew the way he was acting it, the way he was portraying it was the Joker, and probably the most definitive comic book version of the Joker. I think I'm going to go as far to say we've ever had on screen. Ever. I think it's probably the most accurate.
It's just a shame that Gotham overall is pretty crap. Or at least in my mind it is, anyway.
I've seen bits and bats, but I've not had the massive appeal towards it. Again, they are modernising it, but they're modernising it in a better way than they did with Suicide Squad, I suppose. The characters in that are more comic book accurate, but they need to do it a little bit better. They're trying to make Bruce Wayne into Batman. That was never the aim of the series. It was meant to be before Batman.
Yeah, I would have preferred like a detective show with Jim Gordon, but no, it's sort of put all of Batman's villains in it and just like people's nostalgia. Just like, oh yeah, that's Killer Croc and that's whoever.
Yeah, I mean they kind of have to do that if they want to keep. I mean, like I feel like fans of the show would have stuck for a few series, but when they want to explore more series and they want to keep going and they keep going with it, it's very difficult. And I feel like that's definitely something that they have an error with. If they keep going with that and they don't introduce Batman villains and they don't try and make Bruce Wayne into Batman a little bit, that'll be difficult. But I mean, the kid's still young. Don't give him a cowl and a cape yet. I mean, like. No. Make him a bit of a brute, you know? Put a balaclava on him and get him to like kick the shit out of some people.
I think that's what they are
doing. Good idea. And make it a moral lesson. But I know, but from what I've seen, there's like a shot of him standing on a rooftop with like a full molded face mask or something. Hasn't got the bat ear things, but he's got the face mask and he's got a sort of cowl and a little bit of a cape. I know if they keep going, 2 series time, he will have a full Batman costume.
Yeah, probably.
That's the worry, really, for me. I just, if you're going to do a series like that, make it good. Even introduce the Batman villains, I don't mind, but try and stick with something consistent. Bottom line, I think it's just cutting away from that a second. I think something I've always wanted to see and something I don't think we'll ever see is, it's not going to be any surprise because anyone who plays the games would know about it, but adapt the Arkham series into films. There's ways to do it, and it would work so well. Just having a good version of the Joker, a comic book accurate version of the Joker, the struggles in that game with like the mentality of Batman. There's so many cinematic things you could do with that just has never been explored, especially with the Batman film. And I love the Christopher Nolan films to death, but they're not comic book accurate. They are adaptations of it. Yeah, they're more realistic versions. That every supervillain is just a terrorist, opposed to Bane is great, but he's not Bane.
Yeah, he needs the venom, not. You shall disappear, Batman, and all that sort of crap.
I wasn't playing about it. I don't know. I can understand the word I say. But that sort of stuff. It's like you need to. You need really like.
If people have skipped ahead, they just hear me and you're just going. Whoa!
Yeah, because I mean that was the sort of comedic aspect of the Dark Knight Rises, I suppose, because you've got 2 main characters that can't speak properly.
Yeah, you've got Batman like, oh god,
yeah, exactly. It's just like it just doesn't half. I mean, you could understand what they were saying, but it's still like just an exaggeration. It is a more realistic version of Batman, and I like that and I appreciate that. But what I really want to see is a comic book accurate version, which is kind of what the DCEU are trying to do, just not very well. No. They're just not doing a good job of it.
Justice League is definitely the most comic booky of all the films so far, but
that's the element in it. You don't want to go too far. You're not a comic book. Don't become a comic book, but have elements that are from the comic books. That's a way to do it, but it's difficult.
I just don't understand why they can't make a decent cinematic universe because these are such iconic characters. It seems such a simple thing on paper, but who knows? I mean, maybe they'll come good.
I think the problem they're going to have is they're trying to catch up with Marvel. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, just do your own thing.
Marvel are so comedically focused, you know what I mean? Like, they have a lot of comedy in theirs, they have a few punchlines and that sort of thing. I mean, look at Thor Ragnarok, for example.
Yeah.
Great film, so well done with the characters, has emotional moments in it, but primarily, it is pretty much a cheesy late 80s comedy. That's in space with action. It's pretty much Flash Gordon, in a way.
Yeah.
But that works for them. DC, they can't do that. If DC's core was never comedy, really, other than the 60s Batman series, it was never really comedy, Batman has always been a dark character, so don't have him, I mean, there's occasional moments where he'll, like, crack a joke or something. You don't need that. You don't need Aquaman and all that to crack a joke. I want to see where they're going to go with it. Put it this way, if Shazam and Aquaman are both flops. I reckon they're really going to have to knuckle down and really rethink everything.
Yeah, I mean, these are sort of their last chances. I think Wonder Woman, that'll do well. But Aquaman, I'm not so sure about. Shazam, I think, looks decent. But
I think Shazam looks great, and the reason why is because they're really going hard on the comedic aspect, because it works with Shazam. It really does work with him. He's a character that is... I mean, it's big, isn't it? That's all it is. It's an adaptation of Big. It's a kid becoming an adult, and it's like that's all an adult being a kid, pretty much. It's an odd one, but if done well in the right comedic style with the right sort of cinematic sort of tone, it'll work. It'll work really well. You got Mark Strong in there as well, who looks
as a
just
villain,
hilarious.
shocking.
Yeah, it works, and I just feel like if you can get that bang on, that's it. You've got a good starting point there. You got Wonder Woman, got that Aquaman. Let's hope so, but I don't think so. Aquaman is gonna be like Black Panther, guarantee.
Yeah,
which again,
there is a lot of similarities in the trailers.
Black Panther, Aquaman. I reckon both adaptations of The Lion King. That's just it. I mean that is I mean what the. Father dies, kid flees, and then some guy takes king, and he's a bit of a dick, so the son must come back and fight this guy to really regain the crown. It's just, yeah, it is The Lion King.
Pretty much. But
without Elton John.
Speaking of other things that don't make sense, the Doctor Who fan community.
Oh, very smooth. I like that.
Yep. I've been working on my transitions.
Nice one. What, in general, where do you want to start? Because there's a lot to talk about in terms of the Doctor Who community.
Well, I mean, there's a lot to talk about in general because of certain comments from certain people, certain knobheads at the BBC, Piers Wenger.
Yeah.
I guess the overall question is the Doctor Who fan base at the minute toxic? And if so, how can that change? If it can change.
Okay. Quick answer.
Yes.
Yes, and yeah and no. I think it depends. Like, here's the thing. It is toxic, but that's because Twitter and Facebook are social media platforms that give anyone, Twitter especially, that give anyone with 10 followers a voice.
Yeah.
And give that person a voice, then they feel powerful. They feel like their opinion is the one that matters. They feel like a political leader. They can talk their situations. I'm guilty of the same thing. I've got just over 500 followers now. I will, when I talk as if I know what I'm talking about, and I understand my part, and I do, and I try and be respectful to other people's opinions, and I try and be the best person I can. But the bottom line is, in general, with Twitter and Facebook, everyone feels like their opinion is the most important opinion, and no one else can knock that down unless they agree with you. That's the problem, and that's not just
it's not exclusive to Doctor Who. No.
At everything. Just Doctor Who, unfortunately, is one of those things, because it's a show that's been going on for 55 years this November.
Yeah.
It's going to have old fans, it's going to have new fans, they're going to contradict. Hence, the Time Team.
Well,
Doctor Who magazine.
This the thing. You're going to have to explain this a bit more to me, because I stopped reading Doctor Who magazine a while ago. I've seen bits and pieces, but I don't feel I can really comment without...
Yeah.
Because I don't really have the full picture. So, basically, isn't it a load of people
Well, yeah, pretty much. This is the thing, and I want to put this out there, first of all, publicly. I don't hate any of these people. I just, the way they're approaching it. And I might dislike one or two, but I don't generally hate a lot of them, There's a few of them that I've had problems with in the past that I'm not so keen on. But generally, the Time Team, the idea was, and it has been in previous years of the magazine, is a group of hardcore fans who will look at all episodes, review it, and etc. along those lines. And recently, this year, the Time Team has been replaced with people who are in their sort of early 20s-ish.
Yeah,
and those people, those people along the lines of Luke Spillane, Crystal D, Jake Dudman, Beth, oh my stars, I don't know what her last name is, I just know her Twitter handle.
That's kind of bad, though. I mean, no offence to her, but if you only know them because of their Twitter, then...
Well, I think that's because I've just
make sense, because I've seen... Well, they've been on the fan show, and then Jake Dudman obviously.
They're all one. They're all one big
finish,
group. Jake Dudman, I have not got a problem with him. He's a lad. He's such a nice bloke, and I'm never going to have any problems with him. It's. I mean, I've had my problems with the fan show. I'm sure Crystal D and Luke Spillane are nice people. I'm sure they're wonderfully nice when you get to meet them, but I've never met them. I don't know them, and they just. I wasn't a big fan of the fan show, so I'm not going to connect with them as well. But I feel like when a show is this old, you've still got lots of fans from the classic era, and admittedly, I haven't seen much of the classic era. I've tried and I've made the effort, and that's kind of, in my opinion, that's kind of what's important. I've went out my way to try and connect and watch a few, and I've still got all the stories to watch. I've still got loads of them in a long line, and when I do, well, end up reviewing them on the channel. This is the thing, you don't want new fans being brought in. I've not got a problem with them taking up the time team, but they've got to kind of respect that people might not agree with them, and people will have very strong opinions depending on what they say. There was the whole thing recently about that. What was the I can't remember what the episode was now. It's a Tom Baker era episode, I think, and it was apparently being. That's the one, and apparently being racist or something. Thing. Yeah, and there's stuff along those lines, and then there's things about like reviews and that stuff. I think Crystal D once made a comment saying that she watched through William Hartnell's era on 1.5 speed.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
Like, I get it for research. I'm absolutely fine with that. If that's what you want to do, that's your thing.
Maybe not say it.
Yeah, don't say it, first of all. But it's the community. There are going to be people who don't like that. There are going to be people who were born in that era who remember those episodes fondly. William Hartnell is their Doctor.
Yeah. And
these people, you're representing the community, and you've got to have a really important thing on here that although you might not like some episodes, left, right, and centre, and stories, and that's admittedly. I mean, I'm not going to, again, I've not seen most of the classic era, but you have got to admit that, okay, the budget might not be as good.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that before with the
there's loads of different things in the classic era that won't hold up today, and there will be some great stories in there. I'm absolutely dead sure of that. Of course there will, but equally there will be some shite ones as well.
Oh God!
But the thing is, if people grew up with them, they're going to defend them.
Yeah, of course.
Just think about 20, 30 years time. And then you got some new kid saying how crap Peter Capaldi was in like Heaven Sent, like how boring Heaven Sent was because it's just one guy roaming around the castle for a thing. We would defend that because our era remembers that as the best, one of the best episodes in modern Who.
Oh, someone says that to me, I'm drop kicking them. That's it.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. Like that's the kind of I get both sides of it, but I feel like that aspect of it, the Doctor Who community in general is an old one, right? And that's the thing. You've got old fans and new fans, and they're all falling out with each other left, right, and centre now. I feel like the new fans are generally, on a sort of standpoint on that, are generally more accepting of the sort of new series and like Jodie Whittaker and stuff. Whereas I feel like a lot of people who, and I'm not judging, I mean there are hundreds and hundreds of thousands upon people who were fans of the classic era, born in that era, who are fully happy to accept Jodie Whittaker as a Doctor, who are fully ready for this brand new series and almost as excited as I am. There are people out there who are like that, but generally the people who are strongly disliking the new term with the show are people who are fans of the classic series because they don't agree with the political way that some parts of the show are going in, and I completely get that. Yeah. And I will completely get that side of things. Like when I make a video and I'm praising the whole idea of the thing, Doctor, there's some people who make points that are ridiculous, and there's some people who make points that are good. Some people are saying, rip Doctor Who. Well, it's not dead.
Yeah,
so
those people are fucking stupid. They are really stupid. Like, that does my head in.
Yeah, but there's people who say, I'm willing to give this era a try, but overall, I'm not so keen on the idea of the Doctor being a female, mainly because I've grown up and this has been my entire childhood. This is my show. This is what I've been brought up on. But
that's totally fine to me.
Happily give it a try. I'm ready for it, although I don't agree with it. That I honestly like. If I see a comment like that, I won't remove it. I won't block the person. I'll reply to it and go, although I disagree with you, and I think it will be a good change, and I think it will be good. I think you make a very good point, and I completely respect that. And that's exactly what I love about this. There's good sides and there's bad sides, and that's the same with every community. The Doctor Who has a very toxic bad side, but the good side makes up for it, I feel. The people who are genuine, there's two extremes, I feel. And if you're bang in the middle, you're a good Doctor Who fan, in my opinion. You're the kind of Doctor Who fan that I'd want to speak to, that I'd want to communicate with. The two extremes, by the way, are, you've got one end, rip Doctor Who, and the other end,
the militant
Jodie Whittaker is the best Doctor ever.
Oh my God.
All the other ones are terrible, because even though she hasn't had more than a minute on screen, she's amazing, she's the best. And that, although I get it, right, I know people want to be excited.
There's excited, and then there's fucking take some drugs and calm down. Like, I mean, I think was it on your Twitter? I think you shared something and it was like retweet if Jodie's your doctor. How is she anybody's doctor?
Exactly. Yeah, and she can't be your top. Yeah, I think there's a guy called TARDIS Tales who recently put something up about this and got loads of hate for it. And I don't see why. I agree. He said I'm like unfollowing the kind of accounts that just say Jodie Whittaker's the best doctor, doing art of like Jodie Whittaker and like Mandip Gill. I've seen art of Jodie Whittaker and Mandip Gill having a close relation. Let's just say that. And,
okay, I've got. And
I just like why do we need why that you know, like if it turns out that the series airs that that's where they want to go, which I doubt it is.
I hope it's not though, because I mean, I hate River, I hate Rose for the romantic aspect. I don't think the Doctor should be romantically invested. The Doctor should never be romantic.
Someone in my comments the other day said, "Oh well, the Doctor, although the Doctor's a female, so it would make more sense for her to keep sexuality, so she'll be a lesbian." I'm like, well, no, because the Doctor's asexual.
Yeah, I've said that before, and people said the Doctor's not asexual because he has a granddaughter, and I'm just like. Yeah, obviously. Before the show started, yes, I'm sure he went at it like fucking rabbits. Yeah. But his true love in life is looking around the universe and doing shit. I don't want to see William Hartnell or John Pertwee banging everyone that they see. There's a point. When you get to a certain age, you just stop. And
I understand what they were trying to do with Rose, but the way they went about that was that they kept it on the down low, I suppose. It was very obvious that the 10th Doctor had a romantic attachment to Rose, but they never. I mean, yeah, they kissed once. It was like it was part of the story, It was an element of that. The whole conclusion of that was, I'm giving you this meta crisis, Doctor, because I can't be with you ever. That can't happen. That's the element of it. Although people try and ship them together, that's the element of it. And I feel like the same. I think Matt Smith's Doctor handled that really well.
Oh yeah,
when Amy threw herself on him, that right in there was like, it was like, I know this can't happen. I am like 900 years old. Yeah, I'm not human. This is different. I also feel like David Tennant's speech to Rose in School Reunion was really good as well.
The speech?
The one where they're walking at the cafe.
Oh yeah.
And he says, and she's like, oh, am I just on like a long list, like a long line of things? And it's like, you can spend the rest of your life with me, but I can't spend the rest of mine with you.
Yeah.
And that's a really clever little element of it, and I really, really liked that because it was, although it touched upon the romantic side of it, it didn't dwell in it, and it just was like a more of a general sort of, like, it suggested that obviously Sarah Jane might have had feelings for Tom Baker's Doctor. That's what it suggests in School Reunion.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No. Of course you don't, but it's a classic fan of Tom Baker's era. You wouldn't, but I get that. But I feel like, again, it was touched upon so briefly that you just don't even remember it.
No,
you see it more as a good friendship, and I still see that. Although I do see the 10th Doctor and Rose as like a relationship type thing. I like when I watch Christopher Eccleston's episodes of Rose. Although that's the same Doctor, I don't have a problem, and I feel like they're just more of a good friends than anything. And I kind of get that vibe. I quite like that, and I quite like David Tennant's vibe with Catherine Tate.
I tell you what, I was watching Unicorn and the Wasp yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. I forgot how much I liked that one, and I love the bit where he's been poisoned, and she's just like, he's there waving his hands like, "What do you need? Like a song, mammy?" And it just really made me laugh. I love.
Yeah, it's good. She was great, and the thing is, I don't think I could see her for a second series though. I think the way they did that worked really well.
Yeah,
it's an odd thing. There's always like a what if aspect of it. I love. Have you seen the Stephen Moffat interview with the fan show?
Which one? I've seen one where he's talking about how Doctor Who shouldn't be gritty and whatnot, and I fully disagreed with it.
There was a
part 3 or something. Yeah. So there
was a 3-part thing, and there was a second part, and he was talking about Matt Smith's era, and he was talking about how originally the plan was that, and David Tennant was up for it at one point.
Oh, I think I know this, where Series 5 was going to be the 10th Doctor.
And they were going to do what they did.
With him
they were going to do what they did. Yeah, they were going to do what they did with Series 6. So they're going to have him regenerating at the beginning of the series with young Amy, and then they're going to have the rest of the series go on from there, but with David Tennant before he gets to that point. So at the end of the series, he realizes he's coming to regenerate. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I would have loved to have seen that, to be honest.
It would have been great, and that would have been so clever. And I think to have, I don't know, I think just the idea of having Tennant and Amy Pond would have been really weird. I think, Yeah, it's an odd concept that I feel like could have worked. But then again, you would have had the whole, I don't know, the whole romantic thing again. And I feel like I don't think Tennant would have pushed that off like Matt did, and then that would have changed Amy's character. Then and I
she
suppose
would
would
have
have
been
had
really dislikable if that came, because obviously she's with Rory.
Obviously, yeah.
So if that that could have been messy.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Tennant wouldn't have really pushed that off. I don't think, would he?
No.
Oh well, he might have. But I don't think he. Well, he didn't, because I mean, she was going out with Mickey, and he just kidnapped her pretty much. I mean, not kidnapped her, but you know what I mean. Like he didn't really care that they had a relationship. He was just sort of like, oh yeah, you come with me, it's fine.
Well,
I don't think, because I mean, Tennant's Doctor, especially in series 2, there was no recollection of the fact that Mickey was ever having a thing with Rose ever.
They never really just break up, do they? Or if they do, it's off screen. But it's obvious that Mickey still has feelings for... The one I want to know, where the fuck did that relationship with Martha come from? I love how this is... Our Doctor Who fans toxic. But fuck it, I want an answer to this. Like, where the fuck did that come from?
I don't know. I really don't know about that one. I think that was just sort of... We've got to give those characters resolution. You know, Mickey, you want Mickey to find love, bless him. And... I don't know,
Martha
I feel
already
like...
had somebody.
She was engaged, wasn't she?
Yeah, so I don't know how that happened.
I don't know.
But I think...
I have absolutely no idea.
The plan was, at the end of Stolen Earth, when Mickey and Martha go with Jack, they were supposed to go and join the Torchwood crew, but I think for whatever reason they couldn't, and then they ended up doing... what's it called now? Miracle Day. But obviously that didn't... So maybe it would have happened there, but it's very random. How they're just a couple.
A little bit. But I feel like they had to kind of clump them together a little bit, and it was just I think it was more just let's have that as a throwaway line, because more than likely Moffat's probably not going to bring them back, and he was right, he didn't.
Well, there's always time for Chibnall.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. What do you think about the ideas of bringing back companions, not just from Classic Who, but now that the new series is about like 10 to 13 years old now? What do you think about bringing Russell T Davies era companions back into it for an episode or two?
I'll be honest, I'm not a fan. I've never really liked the idea of... I mean, if it's like a multi-Doctor story, yeah, okay, that makes sense. But I don't really like the idea of... I mean, with Martha, it works. It was only like the next series. But I don't want to see Donna with Jodie or Martha back or whoever.
No. What about Jack and Torchwood and that element of it?
I'd love to see Torchwood back, but I wouldn't want to see Jack in Doctor Who again. And the reason is, I might have said this in another video actually. The reason is, when you watch Torchwood, that is the full version of Captain Jack. Like, he's dark, he's questionable sometimes morally.
Okay, I get what you mean.
You have to water that down when you bring him into Doctor Who. I'm sure that John Barrowman would love to come back. Well, he said that he would.
Oh, he's desperate to come back. Yeah, he'd absolutely love to.
But I don't know. I just can't see that character working in Doctor Who as well as he works in Torchwood. That's just for me personally. I do like him in Doctor Who, but I just think Torchwood is a much, much better version of Jack.
I get what you mean. To be honest, and I'll be honest, I'm still to watch it. It's not on Netflix yet, and I haven't got the box set, and I'm desperate to watch it. But it's I can see what you mean, because I've seen clips from it. It's a bit more it's a bit more adult, I would say, than Doctor Who is ever going to stretch towards.
Well,
so I feel like
episode 2 was the sex alien. Chibnall wrote that, funnily enough. Jesus Christ.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah, hopefully we don't get any more sex aliens in this next series. Although, based on that fan art that you saw, maybe that was actually an official poster.
Oh no! It's just the idea of it. I don't know. This new era excites me though. I think that's the thing. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing Jack back. The original rumour, I love the original rumour, but obviously it's not going to happen now anyway, because it's just kind of been just thrown away because of pretty much everything else we've already seen. The original rumour was that the police would take the 13th Doctor in custody, and like Jack and like John Barrowman and Eve Miles would sort of show up to get her out, or like just like put her on bail or something, or whatever. Just get her out and sort of give, this is who it is, this is genuine, this is our authority or something. Or maybe like, I don't know, I haven't really followed the story of Torchwood before, so I don't know where it resolved or ended up. But I mean, there's always a possibility that you could have it like rebranded or something as something else and have a sort of different, I don't know. But you could have like Jack and whatever, I can't remember her name now. That's not Gwen. You have Jack and Gwen there as sort of parts of that. I don't know. It's a strange sort of formula, but the fact that they haven't been in for years, I think to be honest with you, I mean, John Barrowman has now, especially, I think he's aged since he was in Doctor Who quite a bit. I feel like bringing him back now, you'd have to have a good enough, excuse and story for it.
Well, I mean, because when I met him, name drop. When I met John Barrowman, me and John Bazza, he didn't have the grey hair then, but he looked fairly similar to what he did in Doctor Who. I think now, I don't know if you've seen him recently, where he has just let his hair go grey.
I'm following him on Twitter. I've seen bits and bats.
Yeah. So when he looks like that, maybe not. But I think when he dyes his hair, he looks all right. So you could get away with it, really. But I don't. This is obviously in the title. Oh, Doctor Who fans toxic. We're staying on track. I love it. We just wing it. That's what we do. But I think one thing that is sort of really pissing me off is something that you touched upon earlier, where there's certain fans who feel entitled, and nothing that you say is going to be okay for these people. And this is on both sides of the argument. But one thing that really irritates me is, and it's the social media problem, it's the fact that instead of entering a discourse with somebody and actually discussing why maybe you feel a certain way, block. That's it. You just block them.
Yeah, that's it. But that's what Twitter does. It gives people power, and that's an unfortunate thing. I mean, it is a shame because it gives people a power that they really sometimes don't deserve. Really.
Yeah. Very much so. I just really hate these fuckers that automatically assume that... I know. He's off again. But anyway,
no, sorry.
I really hate these fuckers that think that just because you are in doubt about Jodie Whittaker, that automatically means that you are some sort of bigot. Because it's fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah, and I will completely stand by that. Like, if someone like... if someone says rip Doctor Who or Jodie Whittaker is the worst Doctor ever, and the show's dead to me, I'm not watching it, and it's like nothing I can change my mind. I'm like,
those
okay,
people are really, really
then
stupid.
Go away. But if someone's like, I'm not quite sure about Jodie, and then someone's like, oh, you're just a sexist pig, and that gets me because it's sort of like you're not. You're just having an opinion.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I got a lot of that because obviously, I mean, my reaction video isn't there anymore, but literally any sort of phrase in that video people would dissect and say, well, he's actually saying this, he's actually intimidated by women, and it's just like, I'm really not intimidated by women at all, because I mean, on TV anyway, it's just really stupid. Why would, I mean, my favourite character in Blake 7 is Servalan, who is the main villain, and obviously she's a woman. I love Ashes to Ashes more than Life on Mars, and obviously it's got Keeley Hawes in it.
Yes.
I grew up watching the Powerpuff Girls. I love characters like Wonder Woman and She-Hulk and like all these different characters. Even Doctor Who. If you are intimidated by strong female characters, it's the wrong show to watch because it's full of them, and it has been since 1963.
Yeah, I mean, people forget that the person who kind of brought the show to life was
Lambert.
Yeah, people kind of forget about that. Interestingly enough, I don't know. Have you seen? There's a video on YouTube. It's not the most views, but it's quite funny. Have you seen? It's called Doctor in a Dress. Have you seen it? It's quite funny.
No, I don't think I have.
You know about Doctor in Distress, the song?
Sadly, yeah.
Well, pretty much it is a satirical parody of that, pretending to be someone who's against Jodie Whittaker. They are for her, but they're pretending to be one of these people who is strongly against it. And it's probably one of the funniest satirical versions of like knocking that community down as possible. I think it's brilliant. I think it's so funny, and it's just Doctor in a dress, save the world from this PC mess. It's funny because it's so like obviously satirical. They're not genuine, but they're doing it as if it's like a proper charity single, and it's so funny. But in general, as a sort of community, I think Doctor Who is great at the best of times and awful at the worst of times, and that's the best way you can put it. It is a very mixed community, but I think this is the thing. And I think the Five Who fans, as much as I disagree with a lot of things they say, there's a point that they put forward that on Facebook, comments with most reactions get highlighted. So on the Facebook community with Doctor Who, it seems like everyone hates the new series and everyone hates Jodie Whittaker, but that's because people are angry about it, and obviously people are going to react to that if they disagree with it, so that'll get highlighted. Whereas the truth is, it is a minority that don't like Jodie Whittaker or against the new series or boycotting it.
Yeah.
And it is a massive minority, and it used to be almost like, I would say like 60-40 it used to be, and I think now it's more than 80-20, maybe even less than that, and there's a reason for that. And I feel like just looking at my videos alone, I used to get a lot of comments where like, oh, this is crap, this is awful, this is terrible news, and that news would be, an episode Jodie Whittaker is going to have a fanny pack on. oh, this show's dead to me. This show is dead.
To be fair, I agree with that because fanny packs are fucking terrible.
Oh, but it's just it'll be her version of like the Fez, won't it? It'll be like for one episode, and it'll probably have context, you know. That's just an example of stuff. Like I'm trying to think when I think there was a picture came out and it was like, was it not International Women's Day? And it had all the women on set around the picture of the TARDIS,
so.
and people were like, "This is the BBC are being politically correct." No, it's International Women's Day. That's the point of the photo. They're moving them out of it because it's International Women's Day. You know what I mean? Like that's the reason of the photo. That is why they're doing it. There's not saying that women are better. That's not what it's saying. That's not what it's saying at all. But okay, you do you. That's fine.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have an issue with that as long as they do something for International Men's Day as well. Because I mean, that's the thing.
There's a boundary of it, and I'm not going to jump into it because I'll probably end up being quoted on it or something, and I don't know. It's just one of those things, I suppose, and it's.
No, I'm just very passionate about International Men's Day because it is sort of to highlight male suicide, and that's an issue close to my heart. So I would wish. It's nothing just like, oh, well, if women are doing it, they're doing it. It's not.
Well, a lot of people do, and that's what's kind of disrespectful about it in a way as well. I just
Oh yeah, I'm not asked if they do it, but as long as they sort of do both sides of the thing. But I don't know. I think it is a really difficult time for Doctor Who anyway. I think it would have been regardless of whether it's Jodie Whittaker as the Doctor or if it was Chris Marshall, which was rumoured. Did you remember that? That was bizarre.
I do remember that.
Pretty much all but confirmed, and then
I think it was the day before Jodie Whittaker was announced as the Doctor, and suddenly the betting websites shot up, and there was a reason for that because the very small amount of people that did know had put like $5,000 bets on Jodie Whittaker being the Doctor. So them things went around online. People going, why would someone put that amount of money on if they didn't know for a fact? No one would do that, right? So people were like, yeah, it's Jodie Whittaker. It's got to be, and it was. So I feel like I don't know. But the thing is that that's the thing. I was never a fan of the idea of a female Doctor. Never. I was never a fan of it until I think when it came towards the end of Capaldi's era and people started talking about it again. I was sort of like, it could happen, so I'm going to prepare myself for it, and I'll have a look around and I'll see. Yeah, and to be honest, I don't mind Missy. I quite like her. I think she's a good character. I just, I think it would have been nice if she could have turned out to be the Rani or something. It would have been a bit more interesting to bring back a different character.
Yeah,
but at the same time,
pointless thinking about it.
At the same time, I don't mind her. She's had some amazing moments, really pushing her role as Missy, and she's not done anything anywhere near as bad as I feel of Johnson flying through the air and eating people like he did in End of Time. I think that's more disrespectful to the actual character than Missy ever was. So yeah. But saying that, I think the idea of a female Doctor sort of baffled me for a little bit, and then I shit you not, because I saw it was that a week before it was even announced that we were going to be getting it soon. And I'm trying to think, someone put a thing in a Discord server, and it was a Photoshop of Jodie Whittaker, like just from like the shoulder up, and you can still find it on Google, I think, as the Doctor with the TARDIS in the background. And I looked at that and went, scrap Chris Marshall. She needs to be the Doctor, because that to me just one picture, and it just got me into it. And I was like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to be. I'm not going to be. I'll be disappointed. Might be disappointed either way. But if she's a Doctor, I will be genuinely happy. And that was the sort of mindset that I went in with. And my God, was I buzzing when I saw it on screen, because I was kind of expecting it anyway due to the rumours like an hour before, the betting things. But I think at the time I did a video when it was like the 13th Doctor is being announced this weekend, and I did a video on that, and the thumbnail for that video, and I'm still trying to find it now because there's so many bloody videos on my channel, that the thumbnail, I had a blacked out silhouette of a person, and that person was the Photoshop of Jodie Whittaker that I'd done, that I saw on a Discord server. I just took that photo, and I thought that'll be a nice bit of tongue-in-cheek. If it does turn out to be her, then that'll be really funny. And yeah, it's a story I can tell there, so that's fun. But I'm trying to find it now. Oh man, it must have been. Yeah, it's I don't know how you share your screen on Skype. I don't even know if you can. There we go. But it's that one there, if you can see it.
I know, it's still loading.
Oh,
something's happening. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's that one there, and it's sort of a Photoshop. I'm trying to find, and the thing is, you won't find Jodie Whittaker Doctor like that. This is the thing now. You're not going to really find a one now without being an official photo.
You need to be careful when you're sharing your screen, by the way, because in case like Pornhub or anything pops up.
Oh, I'm religious. Don't let any of that stuff into my life. Absolutely not. There's
I'm sure myself and everybody 100% believes you.
Yes, absolutely. You should. Very PG.
Well,
I
not on
can't even
this
find
channel.
it.
This channel's not PG. Fuck it.
Oh yeah. I guessed that.
Yeah, say whatever the fuck you want.
Oh man, I can't even find it anymore. But it is somewhere. I'll be able to find it after we finish doing this. I'll be able to send it to you. But it was a very specific one, and it is from that thumbnail that I stuck in, and it was an interesting one. And I don't know. I just from that moment on, I really just appreciated that, and I really was excited from that moment. I was really buzzing. I don't know. Even though I wasn't a big fan of the costume first as well.
No, I'm still not. I'm really not.
Are you not?
No.
I feel like I've kind of just over time, I've just sort of like, yeah, it works for me.
Because I've sort of sat and looked at it a few times, and the more I look at it, the more I'm just like, that doesn't really work for me. I personally, hang on, I'll try and send you an image or something. Talk amongst yourself, listeners. There's a costume that Romana wore in the classic era, in the Horns of Nymon, I think it was, and it's sort of like this red jacket with it's sort of like a horse riding outfit in a way.
Yeah.
Are you googling it, or do you want me to send
I'm
it
trying.
across?
I'm having a look. Yeah, you might have to describe kind of what it looks like in a way.
Yeah, so it's I mean, for listeners at home, I'll probably put an image on the screen. Editing.
Yeah.
Hang on, I might just tweet it at you now. So then people think, oh, collab, you guys should collab. Little do they know.
People have been saying it since you appeared in my Day of the Doctor video.
Yeah, that's something
saying
else
it.
that I meant to ask you about, because someone said to me just like, oh, no way, you appeared in Ace Creeper's video, and I was just like, yeah, he just asked. Simple as. It's like,
Yeah,
people think
to be honest,
it was this big deep thing. Like, no, he's just like, yeah,
it's
mate,
the thing.
video,
What I did was just for the people watching. I messaged you and I said, do you fancy doing a bit of like a voice acting work or whatever? And you're like, oh, screw it, I'll just get my Tom Baker outfit on and do a video.
Oh,
like,
I don't need an excuse for that.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. That'll do me. Yeah. Save me a job anyway. I mean, that was extremely helpful because I didn't have to buy a Tom Baker wig then.
Oh, do you have the scarf as well?
I've got the scarf. Yeah, it's just sort of hanging on my curtains. Really, it's just like above the computer, and I've got a semi-accurate hat as well, but I haven't got the rest of it really. But yeah, for that review, I just had to make a makeshift with what I had. Hence the edited on John Hurt beard. Yeah. Oh, right. I see.
Yeah. So something like that, I think, I forgot what we were talking about now. Now I've remembered. Yeah, something like that I think would have been quite cool. Maybe not the same colours, like, but I don't know. You could work with something because that's more doctory, I think, than her actual outfit, because it does just look like a t-shirt, and I think it's the trousers, you know. I really hate the trousers, and that's what really pisses me off.
Do you know the sort of origins of it? Have you not been told about that? I mean, it's a rumour. I don't know if it's true, but it's a very strong rumour.
Okay.
Supposedly she gets it from a charity shop.
All right,
in episode 1. Apparently, there's some sort of scene, it's just a rumour again, that she sort of like runs into a charity shop and then comes out with this amalgamation of random clothing that she's found. Which, again, looking at it, does make sense, to be honest.
Well, I suppose that works better for the Doctor. I've always preferred when... I mean, Tom Baker's sort of the embodiment of this, where you literally just grab a load of shit and just throw it on, and that's it.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that's the vibe Jodie seems to be going for, although I think she's just going to keep the same costume. Who knows, though, because, again, Matt Smith changed his, like, almost every series, didn't he? I mean, Series 6, he got the big green coat. Series 7, he completely changed his costume. So who knows? Jodie Whittaker might change hers as well. Depends. There's an image that I believe it's based off, though, as well. There was I can't even remember where it is now.
Oh, is that the Robin Williams thing?
No, it's a one. Because you said it in an interview and it's appeared since online on Pinterest or something. And it's from a magazine back in like the 80s or something. And there's a contextless, timeless photo, black and white, of this woman who's in sort of quite short trousers, that similar to Jodie's, with braces and a t-shirt with stripes over it, just walking across the street. And Jodie saw that photo and went, that is the Doctor. That's what I want for me. Along with like a coat and then obviously a fanny pack as well, which is interesting. But yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I mean, it may take me a while to like the costume, because I'm going to be totally honest here. I've only recently just liked Capaldi's.
Really?
Yeah.
Did Capaldi even have a costume though?
I've said this. I really like his costume because of the reason why I didn't like it initially, and that's because it looks like an outfit you could just walk down the street in. It doesn't really... It's similar to Eccleston, I guess, but it doesn't really look like the Doctor. It just looks like...
I felt like a few of them did. I felt like the velvet jacket.
Oh yeah, no, they did. I mean initially.
Yeah, the first few.
Particularly with the hoodie version as well. I mean, I still hate the hoodie variants. I think
So do
it looks
I.
really, really daft, but... No, I mean I like it so much now that I've ended up buying Doc Martens that I love. I've got checkered trousers that I've not worn yet, and I'm looking at getting a similar jacket as well. I mean, when it's sunny, I obviously wear sunglasses. Duh. But yeah, no, I've only recently just liked that one. So,
and I've got the wig as well. If you want to nick it.
Well, yeah, may as well. I mean, I've got barely any eyebrows, so I need to draw them on as well. I might go as in for Halloween again, thinking about it.
Go for the Crystal D route and get like these big, like bushy stick-on eyebrows.
Yeah, I forgot she did that. Jesus, that was something. But anyway, speaking of Crystal D, seeing as we're not talking about the toxic fanbase again, do you think that people like this Time team and sort of people in that camp, basically, do you think, God forbid, this next series of Doctor Who does fail and it is shit, do you think these people will sort of turn around and say, okay, fair enough, it was bad? Because I think the way that they're talking about it now, it's sort of just like, no, it's perfection, and if you don't like it, if you criticise it in any way, then you're a bigot.
There's a video I had on my channel quite recently where I talked about the fan show being potentially cancelled. What I quite like to think, just on a side note of that, is in that video I mentioned that. I mentioned that, like, oh, they haven't uploaded part 3 of this Stephen Moffat interview, so along with a few other reasons, this is why I think the fan show's dead. Conveniently, the week after that, they uploaded it, which I think was a bit weird. I thought, So, yeah, but in that video I like to think I made a good enough point to say that I believe the essence of being a fan and representing fans on an official show is you should be able to criticise it.
Yeah, and that's a major worry for me.
That's the thing. They never criticised it. I mean, they did this thing called Classmates where they reviewed every episode of Class, and I thought it was amazing. They never had any negative points about anything.
They clearly didn't watch it.
It's not a fan show. It is paid for by the BBC. Just call it a different show. The fan show, it's not representative of fans.
No.
In my opinion. Some of it is. Some of it does a really good job of it as well. But a lot of it, the reviews especially, they don't, you know? You can't just agree with 100% what everyone says.
It's the thing, though. I genuinely don't think that people will be allowed to criticise this next series. And look, I don't want to criticise it for X, Y, and Z, but I don't think any Doctor, any series, any episode, I don't think any of it is above criticism. But I think nowadays people are just going to misconstrue it and say, well, you're just a this. I mean, the amount of people that say to me, oh, well, you want it to fail and you're pretty much in like Ian Levine's camp. Am I fuck in Ian Levine's camp? Like, that guy is just stupid beyond belief. But it's just, I don't know, because especially from the perspective, and it is quite a selfish one, but from the perspective as me as a reviewer, I am going to have to say things about it that people probably aren't going to like. For example, if I don't like Jodie Whittaker or I don't like a certain episode. So that does kind of worry me.
Well, I'm going to be the same. This is the thing. I've put an entirely positive attitude out there, and I will be definitely being completely honest about it. I mean, I'll sue you now. I'll probably share a few things later when I get back after going out. I've started working on my review, similar to Day of the Doctor for Series 11, Episode 1, based on what you already know.
I've seen you in your...
And a little bit. What was odd, I've had a few comments from that, of some people who said, I think someone, I don't know whether, I hope they were joking, but someone said, can I have your sister's number? I'm like, oh my god, that's not right, don't say that, no. But, like, yeah.
I must say, you do rock Jodie Whittaker's look.
It's funny because I haven't shown people yet because I will be teasing it over the next few months. I'll probably show you in advance when I get a chance. I'm not only doing Jodie again, but I'll be doing Capaldi, Tennant, and Chibnall, which is fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's been quite enjoyable, trying to look slightly miserable, but I had the glasses for it, so I thought, yeah, I'm going to add him into this. But yeah, I'm slowly working on that at the moment as well, and I mean that's even when that review comes out, that even if I'm so positive about it in the opening skit, whatever, I'll have to be serious about it on the actual video, so I'll have to be able to criticize it if I need to criticize it. Anyway, though, I do have to go, and I'm sorry, but yeah, I do need to be sort of heading off relatively soon, so if that's okay. I'm sorry, but yeah, I've really enjoyed it, so thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, no worries.
And for the audience listening, big up Wingy Media for sitting to wait an hour for my dad to stop working so I could actually use the internet, so good on him. go and subscribe to him for that, because he deserves it.
Yay.
For his entire patience of waiting for me to pull my finger out and get on. But yeah, thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
No
Yeah.
worries. Well, I mean, if people like you, I'll have to get you on again and talk about other things. But
Yeah, absolutely. I've enjoyed it. I could talk about stuff like Doctor Who, Marvel, DC. I could talk about that for hours, really.
well,
Yeah.
we have been. But
Yeah, pretty much.
I think this is longer than the last one as well, so this is going to be fun to edit. But it's more for people at home, so there you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so yeah, thank you for coming on.
Fine, I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
And I'll leave all your links and whatnot in the description, so people can go and give you a follow on Twitter and YouTube and everything.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, well, that is the end of episode 2 then. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.